So when I first went into university, it was like the biggest change in my entire life. Like when I was in high school, it was kind of like I was going to the same place every single day, talking to the same, 100 people every single day. I had a restricted social life. I was forced to do the same classes every single day, Basically, like I didn't have any freedom at all. And suddenly when I went to university, it was like I was being let out into the real world, like a completely new life. Suddenly I could, take any hobby I wanted. I could like meet hundreds of new people every day if I wanted. I could study how I wanted. I could exercise how I wanted. I had so much freedom. But at the same time, it was so overwhelming because I didn't have some kind of like guide to tell me, okay, this is how you should balance everything in your life. Because yes, I wanted to get good grades, I wanted to study and do well in university. But I also had these other desires that I wanted. I wanted to, get fit and strong. I wanted to have a good social life. I wanted to have a good dating life. I wanted to, deep down, I wanted to like build a business. I knew that the degree I was doing was not what I wanted to do in the long run, right? So in this video, I'll share with you like maybe some tips, like if I could go back in time to me in like first year, what would I tell them? How to balance all this stuff and how to like make the most out of university. Because university is truly like a unique experience. Never are you gonna so easily be able to talk to so many people. Never are you going to be able to, have so much control over your time. If you wanted to go to like 5 hours of class a week, you could. If you want to go to 20 hours of class a week, you could. It's completely in your control. But at the same time, many people will feel like university is going to be the best years of their life, and after that, their life is just going to fall downhill. I do think if you follow like the regular life path that most people go through, then yeah, university is going to be the best time of your life, and after that, life is going to become boring and like suck. But I do think it's entirely within your control. If you want your 30s to be the best decade of your life, you can do that. You just need to dream bigger and you need to like know exactly what you want. So I'll share with you some like advice to dominate this semester through like the best of my experience. First of all, I gotta tell you, the first thing I can tell you is students have so many desires that they want in university. Like when I went to university, there were so many things I wanted. I wanted to exercise and hit the gym hard. I wanted to study and get straight A's. I wanted to have like 100 hobbies. I wanted to game. I wanted to like have a popping social life, have a good dating life. I wanted so many things, right? But you only have so much time. It sounds obvious, but you need to know exactly what it is you want and you have to dial in on those things. Basically, you need to know your priorities. So most students automatically, the priority in their life becomes studying. It's like, okay, the most important thing in my life right now is studying. That always comes first. But that might not be the case. So for example, maybe you know deep down that this degree you're doing is not what you want to do in the long run. Maybe you're doing it for your parents or you're doing it because you feel like it's the right thing to do. But you got to ask yourself, what do you truly want? Like maybe what you want is you want to start a business in the long run. You might not feel like you have the ability, but that's what you want deep down. So that might be your priority. You have to act like it's your priority. So like for example, if you've got, a class in the morning, you've got the option to go to a lecture or to work on your business when you're like most alert and most strong. If your business is your priority and your degree is not gonna give you the life you want in the long run, then act like business is your priority. Work on that first thing in the morning. And another thing that might be your priority is you might want to prioritize your social life. Like I remember the thing I was most hyped about to go to university was to have like a social life. Because in high school, like it's very limiting in high school. I'm sure all high schoolers can agree. Like you meet the same 100 people every day. You go to the same place every day. You go to the same classes every day. You're very restricted. But in university, you can really I was so excited to be able to meet a bunch of new people, go to a bunch of events, talk to like hundreds of new people in my classes. So I really wanted to prioritize that. But I felt like, many people are like, oh yeah, focus on your studies in university, don't go out too much, don't party too much. I do agree with that. I think the party lifestyle can like really pull you in the wrong direction and get you like addicted to like going out and doing drugs and all that. I do think it's like a very slippery slope. But if deep down what you want is to like build your social skills, build your confidence, have a nice social life, improve that area of your life, I don't think there's any problem with making that your priority. Like in first year was much more chill than like the later years. So I think there's no problem like prioritizing your social life in first year. Like I remember there was this one time where I had like a mid-semester exam the next day. It was like a computing coding exam or whatever. But on that same night, there was like this party that was gonna be like huge. And I was so hyped to go to it. And so I ended up picking that over staying home and studying for my exam. And I ended up doing all right, but the point was like I sacrificed my study to go to that social event. Now, I'm not saying to do this. I'm not saying like always like abandon your study and just go partying every night and get drunk or whatever. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying like it's okay sometimes to like weigh the pros and the cons and like pick your priority. Like if I stayed home and studied for that mid-sem, I might have got a couple % higher on that exam. But I would have missed out on this big opportunity to go to this event that ended up being like huge and amazing. So again, I'm not saying like completely abandon your studies and like just go ham and do whatever you want. But I'm saying like don't be afraid to prioritize things that you really want in your life. Because I think prioritizing your social life can also be good for your future. It'll make you better in jobs because you have more of a speaking ability. It will, relationships are the most fulfilling things in life. It'll give you that part of life. And maybe deep down, that's what you want the most. So I don't think there's anything wrong with going after that. Same thing if you really want to hone in and focus on like fitness. Now, if you have zero desire to like, prioritize your social life and talk to people and stuff like that, then okay, don't get into that life. Focus on your studies, focus on building your future. But if you really, really want to do that, like me, I was like so excited for that part of university. That was what I was most excited for. Then yeah, take advantage of it. Treat it like any other goal you have. Like, when you're going to the gym, you weigh yourself, you track your weights, you try to eat a good amount, you count your calories or whatever. Take that kind of like autistic approach with your social life. Have a journal where you like write down the goals you have in your social life. Like be like, okay, today in class, I'm gonna ask a deep question to one person. Today in lunchtime, I'm gonna say hi to one person. Today I'm gonna message one person in my group and ask if they want to get coffee after class. Have goals, like track your socializing, track your social life. But like also you need to know what you truly want. Like if what you want is to have a nice social life, then going into the party lifestyle might not be the right track to do that. Like I knew I wanted a nice social life and have nice fulfilling relationships with people, right? And friends and stuff. But I went the party lifestyle route. That can get you there, but that can also be a very slippery slope where you're like getting pulled into this degenerate lifestyle and like wasting many years of your life. And like I'll make a video on this in the future because I think this is like a big thing. People get so tempted, students get so tempted to go into the party lifestyle. And I think they're trying to achieve a social life. That's why they do it. That's why I did it. But you can achieve it in a much better way outside of the party lifestyle. Just talking to people, going to regular events, stuff like that. So yeah, that's the first thing I can say. Know your priority and act like it, right? Now, the second thing I can tell you to dominate this semester is start now. Start in your first 2 weeks. Because the first 2 weeks of university of the semester are going to be very chill, right? Like there's not going to be any assignments, there's not going to be any exams. So most students take this time very chill. They don't really focus on their studies, they don't do anything like that. But the problem is the work, all that, starts building up. The first 2 weeks are super important to stay caught up. So for me, every time a semester starts, the first 2 weeks, I don't really do much. But then the third week becomes so much harder than it should be because suddenly I've got like 2 weeks of work that I neglected. So start on day one, right? Use the first weeks as kind of like a warm-up. You know how when you're like going onto the freeway and there's like this road that you get onto where you accelerate to the speed of the freeway, right? Use the first 2 weeks as that like accelerating period where you're getting into the flow of things, right? Because students, they'll find it very difficult to get into the flow of studying and working every day. But once they're in that flow, they have no problem. Once they've built the habit, they have no problem. So the first 2 weeks, you should really focus on like getting into that flow. Because I think the ideal scenario is that you take your workload for university and you spread it evenly throughout the semester. So I think in week 3, you should be working as much every day as you are in exam season. That's like the ideal scenario. So what do? From week 1 and 2, you start working, you start studying. Literally you could go, okay, day 1, I'm just gonna do 15 minutes of work. Because if you literally just do 15 minutes where you like look at the syllabus and look at the course, that can like clear up so much uncertainty that you have so that the next day you know exactly what you want to do. So day 1, maybe you do like 15 minutes, you just look at the course. Day 2, you do, 20 minutes and you start studying the first lecture or something. And just like, use the first 2 weeks as a chance to build up to the point where in week 3, you're doing, 2 hours of work a day. So start early, don't leave it until week 3 to actually start doing stuff. So the next thing I can tell you is this is one of the most important things you should have in university. You should have clarity. I remember for like the first couple years of university, I was so unclear on where I would be in 5 years. I was kind of just living semester to semester. I was like, okay, my goal is to get through this semester. My goal is to get through next semester. That's it. But you need to have like a long-term, clear understanding of where you want to be in the future. And the thing, and this is what causes so much stress in university students. Like they'll just keep doing degree after degree after degree because they don't know what they want to do in the future. So here's what you need to do. You need to realize that you are capable of whatever you want. You need to dream big. Like maybe what you want is to start a business and make a lot of money or something like that. What is stopping you from thinking that you can do that? You need to dream big. Like there's this book that I would really recommend that you read that really changed how I see my future. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big by something Schwartz, I believe. I got it here, David Schwartz, PhD. Read that book and it'll tell you that basically whatever you want, if you dream big enough, you can achieve it, right? So maybe what you want to do is you want to start a business. Like I wish I started this YouTube channel in first year. If I started this YouTube channel in first year, not only now would I be at such a different place, but I could have like documented those first few years of my university life. And that would have been some interesting content for you guys to watch. You know, me learning about university, struggling with the university lifestyle, like documenting my life in university. So know where you're going to be in the future. Because like if the reason students have so much uncertainty, at least for me, why I had so much uncertainty, is because I knew deep down my degree would not be what I wanted to do in the long run. I knew I had other dreams or whatever, but I didn't know how to figure out what I wanted. So like what you need to do is you need to ask yourself what you really want from your life. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? And with this, dream big. Like if there was no constraints, if you knew you would not fail, what would you do? And take that goal, take that mission and like work towards it. You know, dream big. Destroy any limiting beliefs you have in your mind and dream big. And finally, another tip to dominate this semester is get into something called deep work. Most students spend all day studying and it's very inefficient. There's this thing called deep work where basically if you work at maximum capacity, your brain's maximum capacity, you can get the same amount of work done that most students do all day. You can get that done in like an hour or two. Like watch my video called How I Study 2 Hours a Day if you want to know more about this. But basically deep work will allow you to spend tiny amount of time studying and the rest of your time working on what you truly want from your life. Although if what you truly want from your life is studying and you want to get a degree and build a career from your degree, then go ahead and do that. But deep work can help you achieve that much more efficiently. Now again, I'm not saying like university is a waste of time. I think like many people love the degree they're doing and they really want to make a career out of it. Like I know guys who are super passionate about engineering and they want to be an engineer in the long term, or they're super passionate about being a doctor. If that's you, go ahead, do it. But I think there's a large number of students who know that their degree is not what they want to do in the long term. They just don't know what they want to do, so they're just like doing a degree because they feel like that's the right thing to do. So again, get clarity of what you really want to do in the long term and use deep work to study as little as possible so you can spend the rest of your day prioritizing the stuff that you actually care about, like building a business, improving your social life, fitness, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know if this video helped, but let me know if it helped. Like I want to know more about like what your goals are in university, how your university experience is. So please let me know in the comments. I'm interested in reading them. See you later.